There's no such thing as bad whiskey. Some whiskeys are just better than others. Welcome to a new episode of Whiskey Compadres here
New
in
location.
Sarasota, Florida. Season 1, episode 4, and we have a brand new person with us who is going to be an honorary whiskey compadre today. He's actually a friend of mine. He's one of the reasons why I got started down here. He helped us find a house. Go ahead and tell us about yourself, Dan Hansen, everybody.
Hey, thanks for having me. Welcome to our studio. We're excited. My main goal, my main thing is I'm in real estate, and it's how we met through my YouTube channel, and we became good friends since that. And you pretty much changed my whole budget on bourbon because I was a Maker's Mark guy hanging out with the friends, and now behind me I have a whole wall of bourbon, and there's another wall in the other room too that's full too. So that was about a $6,000 or $7,000 investment.
Getting a collection.
So any commission I made has been put back.
So you've invested into your whiskey real estate.
Yes.
See.
So, and I'm learning as I go because all the terms are very new to me, but I just enjoy the good flavors and good whiskey. I've always been a bourbon person, and then just come this way. I could never really be a vodka. I think in college I beer bonged a bottle of vodka or something. I could never do it again.
Yeah.
So now it's always been bourbon and whiskey. So
yeah, it's the one thing
left the mark.
Yeah,
Yes.
left the mark. It's the one thing you can sip on. It's the gift that keeps giving. It tastes great, and it's very, very enjoyable, and it puts everybody on their own whiskey journey. I know I've sent Garrett on his whiskey journey as well. I was sent on mine by my friend Dr. Torres, who couldn't be here today. So let's talk about today. We have a very good bourbon here, Blanton Single Barrel, Red Takara. It really needs no introduction. The only difference between this and the other Blantons is this one is especially made for the Japanese market. It's aged 2 to 3 years longer than the other Blantons, but there's another special reason why we have it today. And if you want to go ahead and tell us about that, Garrett.
Yeah, so there is a reason why this one is actually completely empty. Just last week on Saturday, so 7 days ago, we just hosted our 4th golf tournament at Legacy, a charity series that we put on a couple years ago. And Craig actually came up with the idea of having a VIP section for the top sponsors.
beautiful.
So something a little different than we try to do every year for our top guys or our teams that are coming in. So, interestingly enough, I mean, you can't find this anywhere in the States. Apparently, like Red Takara is strictly on the European market. So he scored us 6 bottles of this.
Oh wow!
But yeah, so our just a little bit on the tournament. Since we're on that topic, we basically sold out from the number that I wanted to have at 120. Nice. Only 2 people didn't show. From the team, I think they may have drank a little too much whiskey the night before.
Yes. Yeah. And during the golf tournament, there was a lot of alcohol at this golf tournament.
There was enough. There's still plenty left over if you're interested in anything from my office.
We'll taste some more, and we'll just put it to the next tournament.
But yeah, it was a success. We raised right at $50,000, and we look for unique little charities that are really helping give back to the community locally.
Yeah.
This one was FELT, which stands for Feeding Empty Little Tummies.
Awesome.
They support food insecure homeless children on the weekend. 6 meals that covers them for all the calories they need to become healthy and full when they go to school on Monday.
Great.
So
in these times,
appreciate the sponsorship there.
Yes.
I always try to give back. What can I say?
Yeah.
And plus, Felt is in my backyard. A little bit about myself. I practice medicine in that area. This is what
right around the corner.
Yeah, just right around the corner. One of my main offices is over there, and I really love serving the people of Palmetto. They're a very, 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 very good, close-knit society up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, help me out a little bit on this, Craig, because I know a little bit on the whiskey fronts, and I've got my favorites, but I don't know the real history behind Blanton's, and it's probably one of the most reviewed and skepticized, whiskeys on the market. But Kentucky,
Yes.
right?
Colonel Blanton.
So Kentucky's known for 2 things, right? Their whiskeys and their horse racing. Yep. But other than that,
So Blanton's is from Colonel Blanton. It's a product of Buffalo Trace. It's been a beautiful whiskey for bourbon for a very, very long time. One thing that I like about Blanton's and one thing that's unique about it is each bottle tells a tale. And what I mean by that is they all on the bottle have a horse race figurine on there. because also Kentucky's big for horse racing, Kentucky Derby. So a lot of collectors like to collect these bottles for the mere cap size. Besides the fact it tastes really good, you can actually get the entire horse race from a set of Blantons. And that's what we had for the golf tournament. We actually had an actual set, and we had thought about auctioning that, but then they really liked the bottles, so we auctioned off some of the bottles. So it was about making money for the charity.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Like,
and not the whole horse race.
No, yes.
but it is a very, very consistent, very fantastic bourbon. Actually, my favorite is straight from the bottle. I like straight from the barrel. That's one of my favorite Blantons. Gold's really good, but that's actually my favorite. That one has got a little bit more kick to it. This one's a little bit lower proof at 93 compared to some of the other ones, but actually it's a really good one. So I think you should do us a favor and crack it open and let's take a taste.
So when these horses up here, you're saying, so when it says from a race, is that for that year?
No, it's just in general. So if you look at the actual horse, it's got a letter on it right here in the corner by the leg, and it'll have and it'll spell Blanton. And it'll have each segment of a horse race on there.
Oh, awesome.
So they'll have the start to finish.
Nice.
And so a lot of people like to collect these because once you get the whole horse race, they actually make a display for it, and it's very, very collectible for your whiskey enthusiasts.
This one for Marius too. Marius is over in the wing over here. He's our
welcome in.
He's our engineer. Marius is also one of our realtors on our team. Is our photographer, videographer, everything. He's the everything for everything. So, and he has more knowledge on bourbons and whiskeys than I do. So he used to write a blog. And nothing like it.
Thanks for letting us use your studio here, Dan.
I think it's great.
Awesome
and
setup.
like we say on all the whiskey compadres, there's nothing like having a nice whiskey drink before lunch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And better with friends.
Cheers.
Little
Still smooth.
sniff of it.
Yeah. It's got that nice, smooth smell on the front end. On the back end, you taste a little bit of the spice.
Yeah.
Everything you expect with the consistency of a Blanton's through Buffalo Trace.
Hey, Marius, how's that going down after last night?
It's going good. Slow.
He had a Halloween party yesterday, and he came in. It's like a little groggy. So
a little
this is a
groggy,
little hair of the dog right here for him.
Dog,
you know?
hey, this will definitely take it from you.
Now, a lot of people, most people have their different interpretations, but I heard one review of this particular bottle right here where it has a cooling effect.
Mm-hmm.
You getting that? Did you feel like some coolness coming up, like rushing up?
Like icy hot.
Does it?
Yeah,
exactly.
On the back end, right?
Yeah. Then does it change the character when you like drop a cube in? I mean, from what I read, and again, I'm novice at this, so I know that some need an ice cube to kind of release some of its chemical properties or whatever.
Yeah,
or is that just a myth, or is it just?
No, I mean there's a lot. It goes either way. It just depends on what you like, right?
Yeah.
Like I've dropped a cube in it, and it's got a little bit different flavor. Some people, they will do something sacrilege and drop something to mix it with every now and then.
Splash of Coke or something like that.
Splash Sprite. You just kind of like, oh my god. But it's what you enjoy, right?
Sure.
So I always tell people, like, you can crucify those people if you want to, but I have done it sometimes, and it's about what you enjoy. As far as this, and as far as dropping cubes in there, I've done it either way. I think it does release some of the flavor. I tell you what releases the flavor for me is when you mix these with a really, really good cigar.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about the flavor combinations, but when you mix this with a really good cigar, I feel like it unlocks up both the flavor of the cigar and the flavor of the whiskey.
I got a friend that's a cigar expert. Maybe we'll bring him in on the next couple of these, and we'll bring some stuff in from up in Tampa up there. You know, they got Ybor City up there, cigar companies.
Cigar City.
Yeah, cigar, and they so he's got a very good tie with them. So maybe we'll do that one day.
We had some fresh rolled cigars on our tournament, Maderos.
Oh yeah.
Local guy. Exactly. I think may have been from St. Pete.
Yeah.
Don't fact check me.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had some fresh Maderos out there, clean.
Fun. That's great. And it was a success, huh? I mean,
it's. I don't know. I go into them with a lot of pressure on myself to make them bigger and better.
Well, you might get everybody, but you want everybody to enjoy it, be back again, and it's all about raising money. So.
But I cannot tell you the response, the texts that I got from the players, their sponsors out there already trying to sign up for next year, want to be their helicopter sponsor or level up to the next level.
Nice.
you know, part and that one of Craig's points was let's get those guys back doing more.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was a success in all shapes and forms.
You know what's crazy about that is it's so recent, just from all the havoc we've had in the past with all these illness, and you know, I don't know what words we want to use with the pandemic or whatever it is, but everybody's trying to get back to normal a little bit. So it's nice to have an event that makes such a good impression, and everybody's out there to enjoy, and just put the politics behind. Let's go make some fun, and you know, get past that.
Well, to that point, it was just, you know, Hurricane Ian had just come through.
Yeah.
And of course, one of my thoughts after, you know,
making
sure our house was good and all the friends and stuff is, all right, what do we do with our tournament? Because I had over 100 people paid.
Yeah.
You know, at that point. And I called Legacy a couple days after, raking up all the debris, and we got very lucky and fortunate here in Sarasota.
Yeah, we were fortunate.
But Legacy said, we're good. We have a tournament of 120 going on that same week.
Wow.
So it was nice to get snap back to it, and everybody came out and had a blast.
And it was really good to see, you know, not only the golf tournament happen, but the whole community come together. Because you know, I being from the Mississippi Gulf Coast, you know, I've gone through 14 named storms, Katrina.
You're an LSU guy, right?
Yeah, big LSU guy, and it was really good to see a lot of people, even in my neighborhood, come together before the storm, after the storm, putting up storm shutters. You drove out and gave me this really long ladder that I tell people not to ever climb ladders. I'm
600-pound ladder.
And I'm 26 feet in the air, attaching stuff, sweating the entire time. Where am I going to fall off this thing? But
committing to never doing that again.
Yeah. But it was really good to see the community come together. Yeah. And what a better way for to come on the other end of this hurricane than to have a golf tournament, you know, post pandemic, post everything, and just to try to get a little bit of what everybody's normal is, or what the new normal is.
Sure.
You know?
Sure. This is great.
This is changing, honestly, as I'm drinking and sipping. It's changing.
Is it because did you eat this morning? Is it because you're getting a little buzz?
No.
You know, it's funny.
Not like last time.
I kind of internet fast, so I haven't had anything. So I've had a couple cups of coffee. This is like a good follow up, you know, and so we'll see where I'm at in an hour.
We'll see.
Just sip it.
Clove,
Yeah. Little spice, little caramel.
Yeah, Marius would be good to have on this stuff too, because he has a little more knowledge than I do.
After I let it sit, I feel like it's salty on the back end.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely got a lot of spice to it.
What's a bottle like this go for? I mean, you said it's hard to find. Is that what you were saying earlier?
You know, it just depends.
You can't find this here.
Yeah,
this one.
Yeah, it just depends. You know, there was a big rush on Blantons a few years ago. I mean, the price was just astronomical. You're paying $500-$600 a bottle for stuff that used to retail. I mean, years ago we used to find this for $50, $60, $70, $80, $90 a bottle. Then it just went through the roof when, you know, the distillery decided to scale back on how much they produced. Right. So Blanton, as in general, went way up in price. It was really hard to get, even back 2019, 2020. So you were running $500-$600 a bottle. On retail, it varies depending on who you go through. You can get it for anywhere from $200 to $400 a bottle, depending on where you go through.
Time of the year.
Yeah. There are certain auctions you can try to get on, and you can get, you know, a case for a reasonable price and things like that. But I would say that as far as Blanton's is concerned, the price has not stayed elevated like it used to. It used to be just astronomical.
Okay.
So, but the other Buffalo Trace products are still astronomical. George T. Stagg, all those, they're all still really, really expensive. They just had their new release of their new series, and those will be bottles I will never see in my life. So a bunch of unicorns I'll just look at and be like, oh, those look really nice.
Yeah.
And in full disclosure, when we started sitting down and like thinking about these podcasts, this is actually not the typical whiskey that we review.
Right.
This was a special edition.
Had an opportunity
for the VIP section of the golf tournament.
That's awesome.
We want to look at what we're all drinking in our homes, on an average, and what people can really get in their local
It
stores.
looks like I have about 17 podcasts right here from Dr. Cranford.
Yeah, and that's been basically the whole goal of Whiskey Compadres. We want to try good stuff from every state to what you're drinking. What do you drink for the fall? What do you drink for spring? What is your home? What do you drink at your home? What is your go-to? We all have it, and everybody's whiskey journey is different, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. For instance, I never thought in my life that I would, until I met one of the managers at State Street Grill where we had our first podcast, Jason. He got me introduced to a whiskey named Redwood Empire out of Sonoma, California. Their rye whiskey is absolutely fantastic. I drank it, and I'm a big Whistle Pig guy. You guys know that, and I absolutely love Redwood Empire. And since then, they've taken off. But what's been great about whiskey and the bourbon is the fact that because you have companies like Buffalo Trace that have always produced a good product, and you have other companies in Kentucky that have produced a good product, everybody has to produce a good product or you're not going to be around. Right. So it's caused all these companies to make better products.
Level up.
all the way from California to Texas to Oregon. Everywhere across the United States, there's going to be somebody that's got a really good whiskey because they have to, because it's a very competitive market and they have to up their game. Yeah. So so far it's been just fantastic as far as all the stuff that we bring in to review and things like that.
Yeah. That's great. This is awesome. I mean, this is a great opportunity for us. I mean, this is something you can't find. So having this little lunchtime snack is nice.
Yeah, a little before lunch snack.
That was the goal of the tournament. Just something different, unique to bring, to the elements.
That's good.
And the people there loved it. It was a great addition. And I think for tournaments like that where you have members that contribute a lot of their money and teams and stuff, I think having something special for them is always very special.
It's not something normally going to get an opportunity to be in front of,
Yeah.
So and it probably introduce people to stuff they've never knew. I mean, just like me when we met and you started introducing me stuff. I mean, you changed the way I have cocktails at night. So we had a wine club, me and my wife. I was in restaurant business for 27 years and loved wines, worked with a lot of wineries. And at my house, we have like 27 bottles of wine we haven't cracked because we went through 7 bottles of Whistle Pig now. And my wife, is a flight attendant with Delta, 35 years, and she's like, "Oh, can you make one of those Whistle Pigs?" And she likes Angel's Heavy too, And I got her to taste the rye, and she likes that. So it's a couple on the rocks, and the thing is, you kind of enjoy it over 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or whatever. So you have 3 at night. You got an hour out of the way, and it's a different way. We get all this wine that we're not drinking now because of the introduction. So thank you.
Yeah, that's not a problem. That's not a problem.
They'll be there when they're ready.
Yeah. Just make sure you turn them. They'll be there when they're ready.
Exactly. We'll have the party over, and and then everybody can pick their poison. So
I got him started in it. He used to he was not that much of a whiskey guy. He had some, but he's not. And then we got him started, and now he's been enjoying his journey too.
Yeah, I was at old fashioned at best.
Yeah.
Good old fashioned was good at steak and a little steakhouse. But it's neat to open up the palate to different.
Start learning.
And he's a big smoke guy, so he's the only guy I know that lives in Florida where it's 100 degrees and he'll start a fire in his backyard.
Nice.
In the middle
and
of August.
Inside.
and inside in August. So he likes the smoky flavor. So we were all at a restaurant. And I said, look, why don't you try this whiskey? It was a High West at that point. They made him a smoked old fashioned, and forevermore changed.
Yeah.
So everybody has their own taste. I'm a rye guy. Some people are heavy wheated guys. Some people are Scotch guys. In fact, Torres, one of my really good friends who couldn't be here, is also a whiskey compadre. He's a really, really big Scotch guy. Nice. And me, I started with Scotch as a child because my dad was a Scotch guy. And that was his thing. And I couldn't. It's the heavy peat for me is one thing that's something that you have to appreciate.
Yeah.
You just can't. You have to sip on that.
Yeah, I've been trying different things like that, some Macallans or something like that. So different things. So.
Well, all right, guys.
Yeah.
Anything else? Anything else in the closing remarks?
No, just
Blanton's. It needs no introduction. Absolutely fantastic. It's good on the front end, good on the back end. It was for Felt. It was successful VIP. We decided to showcase it today, mostly in the Japanese market. You can still get it in the United States market if you have to go through some distributors to get it or some websites to get it.
Right.
Some local brokers.
But like I say again, thanks for having us today in your beautiful studio. And there's no such thing as bad whiskey. Some whiskeys are just better than others.
Nice.
Yeah. And always drink responsibly and drink whiskey with friends.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Perfect.